What's up everyone, Charlie here. I'm going to continue on now with the bot tutorial using DisSnake library and Python for a Discord bot. I've made a couple of videos already, one going over how you set up your programs, how you get everything downloaded and set up, and how you actually create the bot itself, and how to implement all the necessary coding from the very beginning. So if you're new and you're starting from the very beginning, then you're going to want to make sure you watch the first two videos before you get into this one. Because this one I will be discussing cogs and what they're used for and how to set them up. And from there, we're going to get into more exciting topics. Again, this will be the last mundane topic that I talk about. And then the second video, I went over embeds, how to create slash commands, things like that. Went over interactions versus context. And then from here, again, we're going to go over cogs really quickly. And the first thing you do is you go over here to your project folder, and we're going to create a new folder, and we're going to call it cogs. And then in this folder, we're going to create a additional Python file. We're going to call this one, I'm just going to name it example.py for now. And this is our cog file. So from here, what we're going to do at the top is just import DisSnake. And then we're going to import the extension commands, just like we did in the main file. And then from here, we just instantiate our cog class by doing the following. We create a class. And for this class, you can name it whatever you'd like. I'm going to use test cog for this example. And then as an argument, you're going to pass in commands.cog with a capital C. Then from here, you're going to initialize it by defining a init. And then you're going to pass in self and bot as your two arguments. And then underneath this, you put self.bot equals bot. Now we can go ahead and start making commands as we would in the main file with one major difference. The decorator, I'm going to go back to the main file for a second. This is your decorator, the @bot.slash command and @bot.command. These are called decorators. And that's the main difference between the cog and the main file, is how the command is constructed, starting with the decorator. So instead of @bot.slash command in the cog, we're going to use @commands.slash command. And that's how we instantiate our slash command. Now I'm going to also show you how to do parent commands and subcommands. This will be our parent command. The top is always going to be the parent. So we're going to define this as parent. And then as arguments, we're going to pass two things, self and enter. Now, enter is the same thing as interaction. It's just an abbreviated version of it and allows you to, get more work done faster because you're typing less. So I would highly recommend getting used to using the abbreviated version because it's much faster. And then as arguments here, or as work in the parent command, we're just going to pass in pass to pass everything else down to the child command. So from here, we're going to reference the parent as the decorator, not commands.slash command, but the actual name of the parent command that we want to create subcommands for. So in this case, we're going to do @parent.sub_command. And then from here, async def child self comma enter, and then here we put disSnake.app cmd inter. I'm going to zoom in a bit so you can see a little better. But that's the abbreviated version. So this right here, let me put in a pass statement real quick. That is the same as this. I'm going to name this child 2. Self interaction disSnake.application command interaction. Same exact thing. So as you can see, between these two ways, this is the faster way to do it because you're saving all that typing time. So just keep that in mind. I'm going to go ahead and I'll keep this here for now. I'll just do a simple await interaction.send hello. And then for our main child command, for child 1, I'm going to do an embed again. Just put embed. And honestly, to save you time with embeds, it's easier, and I always do this by habit. It's em equals disSnake.embed title equals. This is an embed title. Then description. This command was called from a cog. And then as our color, I'm going to put in disSnake.color with a capital C, COLOUR.random, just so we get a random color every time we call it. And then just simply put await enter .send embed equals em. So you see the difference between these two? This is all abbreviated. This is not much less time taken to write out the command. So this is, in essence, how Cogs work. It's a way for you to organize your commands into different groups, subgroups, different categories that you can organize by file. So for example, let me show you my mainbot file here, and you'll get an idea. So for my mainbots file, I have 3 folders of Cogs, and each one I have earnings commands here, evaluation commands here, JASME commands here, navigate, scan, stream. It's a way for the developer to keep track of the commands and where they're all located and group them together based on characteristics or what they're supposed to do in their performance. So that's basically it. Now coming back over to our example file here, this is basically set up. We only need to do a couple more things. One of them being to add our setup function. And our setup function is going to be define setup bot equals commands.bot. And let me reference my setup here. And then from here, you can define it if you want with the Cog setup. And then as your next line of code, you just put in bot.addCog, and then you pass in the name of the class that you created at the top of the file. So in our case, it's going to be testCog, and then as an argument, you pass in bot. And then underneath that, you create a print statement that informs you and lets you know in the terminal that the Cog has been loaded and it is operational and should work in your server. So that's basically it for your Cog. We have a Cog set up in the class testCog, and we have a parent command named parent, and we have 2 subcommands named child and child2. I'm going to use both of these in the server and show you the message that pops up when you load this Cog. Now back in your main folder, all you got to do here is at the very bottom, simply type out bot.load_extensions, and then in the parentheses, put, or not parentheses, but quotes, put Cogs. And that's referencing your Cogs folder that you created, and it will load all Cogs in this folder. So if I were to create another Cog named example2, this would load both example and example2 and all of the commands inside of them, less any errors. So let's go ahead. I'm going to refresh this and show you the terminal, show you the message that prints out. And then again, this is the last mundane topic. And the next one we'll look into getting stock data using the requests library. And that should be a lot of fun. So refresh. You can see here extension cogs.example is ready. And then we have our logged in as test spotter here at the bottom, which again is just referencing our onReady function that we created within the initial bot class. So from here, I'm going to go ahead and go to the Discord. And I'm going to go to the channel. This is the embed that we created in the last video. From here, I'm going to hit /, which will bring up my command list. This is going to be, let's go to our bot, which is right here. And now you'll see our commands. So see the commands here. We have embed, which is the first command we created as far as / is concerned last video. And then we have our parent child and parent child 2. Those are our Cog commands. Let's go ahead and call parent child. This is an embed title. This command was called from a Cog. And we'll do parent child 2. And then he just says hello. So everything works fine. We set up our Cog. We have it loaded through our main file. And that's basically all there is to know about Cogs. How about them apples? But yeah, pretty mundane, I know. Next video will be more exciting, and we'll get into more useful things that you can have a lot of fun with.